everyone, I hope you are all doing well. Thank you so much for clicking yet another video and welcome if you're new. In this video, I am going to be running through exactly how I manufactured my luxury hoodies for my clothing brand. I created a video as to how I manufactured my luxury t-shirts, so I thought it fit in to discuss with you guys how I manufactured my luxury hoodies. Now, before we fully get into this video, I wanted to quickly hop on here and talk to you guys about Awesome. Awesome are supporting 10,000 people over the next 12 months to help kickstart their side hustles. If you click the link in my description and sign up, you will gain access to the Awesome Business Library. In this library, you will find a whole range of resources that I feel like are invaluable and you will find incredibly useful if you're thinking about starting a side hustle. So guys, make sure you click the link in my description, sign up, it's free, and let me know how it goes. So let's talk about my hoodie manufacturing journey. So my journey actually started with a trip to flannels. I wanted to take a close look at high-end hoodies, see how they're constructed, and see what sort of fabric composition that they have used. I also wanted to understand what kind of fabric I wanted to use. I was torn between a fleece back cotton and a loop back cotton. A fleece back cotton is a type of cotton which has a flat face and a fluffy back. French terry, otherwise known as loop back, also has a flat face, but instead of a fluffy back, it has loops on the back. So when I took my trip to flannels, one thing I did note was a lot of the high-end hoodies were using the French terry loop back cotton. So I decided that that's the cotton that I wanted to use because I am all about luxury, darling. So next was the beginning of my sampling process. So I needed to get a bunch of fabric swatches to make sure that this was the fabric that I wanted to use and to also decide what kind of fabric I was going to use. Of course, I knew I wanted to use French terry, but I needed to understand the weights and what weight I wanted my hoodie to be. Now, I had an idea that I wanted my fabric to be between 400 GSM and 500 GSM. GSM stands for grams per square meter and is the unit of measurement used to measure the weight of fabric in most fabrics. I got samples from Alibaba.com, Fend Fabrics, and Swatch On. Fend Fabrics is actually a UK fabric company based in Leicester. I actually use them for my fabric for my cotton t-shirts. Along with me sourcing fabric swatches, my manufacturer in Italy was doing the same, and she actually managed to find the perfect fabric, which is the fabric that I ended up going for, and it is a French terry fabric in 450 GSM. So I actually provided the pattern to my manufacturer in the form of a digital pattern, and that is when the sampling process actually began. So when it comes to sampling, it gives you the opportunity to see the product before they make the bulk order. I would say creating samples for your products is incredibly important because it gives you the opportunity to see the product in real life before you commit to the final bulk order. Especially if you are working with a manufacturer for the first time, you're gonna want to create a sample so that you can assess their work and decide whether or not that is the manufacturer that you want to move forward with. So naturally, with my first round of samples, there were definitely some adjustments that I needed to make with the hoodie. The hoodie wasn't awful, I was just being picky. So the adjustments that I made were I needed the hood to be smaller, and I specifically specified that I needed it to be smaller by 4.5 centimeters. I put together this whole deck of the different adjustments that I wanted for this particular hoodie. I also wanted there to be double stitching on the sleeves. Again, like I said, I was just being extra, and I wanted, the hoodie part that comes here, I wanted it to overlap instead of it meeting, because I thought if it meets like this, there is a chance that it will end up ripping apart, and for something that is, luxury, that's not really something that you want to happen. And then I just reiterated the fact that the overall finish and quality of the hoodie needed to be top notch. Even the stitching inside needed to be finished immaculately. Once the adjustments had been made, I then went ahead and sent her my garment label, which I had made in China using Alibaba.com, and she went ahead and created the care labels, but I actually designed the care labels. If you guys want want a video of how I designed my garment tags and my care labels, then please comment down below. I am going to be creating a video of how I designed my hang tags, but I thought maybe care labels might be an interesting thing to throw into the mix as well. So once all the adjustments had been made and I was happy, the hoodies went into bulk production. And my hoodies were actually the first bunch of products that were delivered to me before all the rest of my collection. So my collection was actually delivered to me like drips and drabs. It wasn't all like sent together. So my hoodies were the first thing I got. And with my hoodies, I had my shaka design and my mantla design. So my shaka design is an embroidered logo of the Shiva Shiva signature, which is what I like to write in my copyright on my website. So I sent those off to be embroidered by one company. And then for the print, I sent that off to be printed by another company. In fact, at the time, I actually danced around the idea of actually going to a brand new print company, but they actually let me down, and I sent them a sample to print and show me the print, and I just never heard back from them. So I'm so happy that I didn't end up going with them or just sending all my stuff, because I would have sent it and it would have disappeared like the sample that I sent. I just went back to the company that I've used and they printed the mantla hoodie design for me. So the print technique I used was DTG printing. DTG is also known as direct to garment printing, and it's a printing technique where the ink is basically printed directly onto the garment. Picture a big printer and your garment just going through it and your design being printed on there. So once half of them are embroidered and half of them are printed, they were all obviously shipped back to me. I labeled them with like the hang tag and they joined my collection, and I was really happy with them. They are amazing hoodies, very warm, very thick for this English weather, and yeah. So let's talk cost breakdown. So sample production of my hoodies costed 40 euros per unit, so it was double the cost of the unit price. The fabric for the sample costed 21.6 euros. I don't know how to say that, is it? Yeah, 21.6 euros. The bulk production price per unit, as mentioned, was 20 euros. The fabric for the main bulk production actually worked out to 8 euros per meter. The ribbed fabric per meter was 5.55 euros. The CAD cutting, which is the process of actually cutting the fabric ready for sewing, was 80 euros. There was also other costs such as customs, shipping, pattern adjustments, printing and embroidery, and all of this came to some sort of price, but I can't actually track. So that is a basic breakdown of how much the whole process cost me to create these hoodies. Some prices are per unit and some prices are like overall. So guys, I really hope that you have enjoyed this video and you have learnt something. I know a question that I get a lot in my DMs is, do you think this cost for a hoodie is too much? So hopefully, I mean, you can base something off this video, I don't know, or you can tell me whether or not you think this is too expensive. I don't know, but please bear in mind that my products are manufactured in Italy, which is, you know, gonna be a cost in itself, and the factory I use, they are like paid properly, and you know, these are all things that you have to consider when it comes to the price point of producing certain garments, and which is why my products are priced in a way that they are. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in my very next video. Goodbye.